From the roots of Africa's voice, we rise with power, purpose, and choice. In every code, in every dream, the future is ours, the vision supreme. Until Africa, till we lost the land, building bridges hard to have. Through the fires of thought we saw, together we lead forevermore.
Good evening and welcome everyone. Welcome to the FTLAfrica Global Hour, Fireside 5. And as you all know, for every Fireside, it's been an impactful, insightful, transforming, hope, realigned to achieve great things. And this Fireside 5 is not left out. It's going to be very powerful. So get your seats ready, take your pen, your paper, get ready to ask questions. So we're going to give 3 more minutes for other participants to join, invited guests. So you can right now, you can share the link with your friends, with your loved ones. You can share your status to invite your friends to join the session. So in 3 minutes, we'll commence. Welcome everybody. And also welcome our guest, as we will see him very soon.
And Africa's future takes shape together. FTLAfrica, the future is ours. FTLAfrica, future is ours.
Welcome once again, and good evening. It's a pleasure to bring you to the FTLAfrica Global Hour, Fireside 5. Today, we'll be talking about securing Africa's digital future, cybersecurity, and the age of AI. And my name is Marco, and I'll be your host. And let's do a quick housekeeping. This session is recorded, and please paste your questions in the chat box, and during the Q&A, we'll take our time to answer every one of them. So just as you can see on the chat, you can see the meeting link is there. You can send to your friends to join. Also, you can send us a message, an email rather, to Future Tech Leaders Africa, just the same way spelled as pronounced, Future Tech Leaders Africa at gmail.com. So, welcome everybody. I would like us to know this is the part of our FTLAfrica Global Hour Fireside series. Now, these conversations they bring industry leaders to the FTLAfrica community. We're honored to host a very wonderful personality, Mr. Seun Osuntoki. Please correct if I think I got that correct. Tonight for a crucial conversation on cybersecurity and AI. Now we are in the age of where you're no longer so much. You're not talking about your security of your physical security. Now talking about how your digital security is a very pivotal role, because the next big edge we're going to have across the globe is going to be how secure our digital infrastructure, and which comes about data and so much more. Yes. And with AI, we'll be diving deep into that tonight. So as I said earlier on, grab your popcorn, your pen and your papers, and a bottle of water as we dive deep with our guest. So quickly, try to bring him up. I'd like to talk about just a little bit about him. I'd like you to join me. Welcome, Mr. Seun Osuntoki. Is a solution architect and cybersecurity leader with a strong track record in building resilient systems, advising organizations, and translating technical risk into practical action. Mr. Osuntoki brings deep experience defending infrastructure and designing secure architecture suited to African contexts. And I would say he's currently the head of engineering at Mainstack. If I give me a second, yeah, now. It's a social commerce company that created platforms for creators to monetize their skills. Before joining Mainstack, Seun worked as a machine learning engineer at Talent Up Africa and a data scientist at Chevron, I'm correct. Currently a PhD student at the University of Lagos, focusing on AI and natural language processing. Seun has worn different hats in IT, ranging from full stack engineer with a focus on security to software architecture and network practitioner, among others. He earned both his bachelor's and master's degree in computer science from the University of Ibadan. So with the round innovation, let me see your emojis. Please help me welcome Seun Osuntoki. It's a pleasure to have you. Yes, sir. Please let me see your emojis. Let it keep coming. Thank you. Send your
Thank
love.
you. Okay.
Send your love. Send your love. Telling him you're happy to see him. Very handsome man. Isn't he? You're very welcome, sir. So how are you doing today, Mr. Seun?
Thank you very much. I'm doing fine. Doing
Good
very
to have
well.
you. Good to have you.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
let's
Thanks for having me.
take. Oh, awesome! It's great having you. The FTLAfrica ecosystem is glad to have you, and let's have a wonderful evening. So welcome once again, Mr. Seun, and I'd like to start from a personal framing. Can you tell us briefly what motivates your focus on cybersecurity in Africa, and now AI is changing the threat landscape, as we all know?
Oh, okay. For one, I think for anyone building any serious system, whatever you call yourself, so far you are involved in building solutions that people will use, then you can't shy away from cybersecurity because you practically have two types of users: the people that will actually benefit from what you're building, and some other people that will kind of look to make it for, let's say, them bad pellet people. So it means that if you wanted to, if you wanted to scale, if you want people to actually enjoy it, then you have no option than to also do something around cybersecurity. I think that actually fueled my interest in cybersecurity because majorly I build systems, right? And in the bid of trying to build systems that like people can actually use, they're not frustrated with it. Like the bad guys, the malicious people, they're not trying to game the system, then we realize that you need to take it a notch further, right? You need to bring in the security. You need to bring in all those security tools, just to make sure that the country, like the fences of your applications, they're well fortified. Yeah, so that actually is for my interest in cybersecurity.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Okay, now let's look at what is the immediate stakes. Now, what I'm trying to talk about is this. What are the three things organizations in Africa should do today to prepare for AI-driven threats?
I think maybe before I answer that, I'll try to lay some kind of foundation so that everybody could actually follow along, right, concerning that question, like what the leaders, what the country, what people needs to put in place for AI-driven threat, because it's kind of like another type of threat, different from the one we're used to before. At least it's on a larger scale, right? And I think, so that I don't dive too deep into that, I'll just try to hint that, before anyone, any malicious actor will try to game a system, there is one thing that they had to do, which is they need to do survey. They need to plan what you have around you, what they can do. They need to actually assess the vulnerability in your system and be able to know exactly where they need to plug in to be able to wreak havoc on that system. Bringing in it to AI, that act is more like data collection. Let me put it that way. And since we have AI all around us, and one of the things that fuels it is data, right? Meaning that for AI to work, you need to collect data, right? And for an attacker to be able to create havoc on your system, they will also need to collect some form of data. So it kind of makes the whole situation a bit dicey. And that means that anything that we need to put in place to make sure that the cybersecurity space is intact will have to come from that place of input, that place where data is being collected, like finding a line between data collection that is useful for AI and it won't be malicious to people using the AI. Yeah, I think that will be the foundational place. That will be the strong thing that anybody, any country, any organization trying to bring in cybersecurity into the digital space, especially in this AI-driven world, will need to put a bridge on the ways data is being collected. Yeah, I think I would like to answer that question like that. Like it's still about the data. It's about securing the data. It's about securing the type of information that people can have on the system. Yeah.
Just a follow-up on that. Like I can really remember saying 8, 9, 10 years ago when there was this argument in Wall Street, they were saying that the next gold or the next raw mineral will not be gold or crude oil, but it will be data. And it all boiled down to what we're trying to say. It's how the data is collected. Thank you so much. Because how the data is collected, how is managed. It's all around the data. The data is just the most important factor. Thank you so much. And going a follow-up question from that now is this:
Okay.
what's one practical example you can put out to the community? What particular example could you put out to people coming up, like this is what you feel and believe could be a very good antidote or a solution?
Okay. Well, let me antidote solution. So that part is actually really funny, right? Because I'm I'm just going to put it straight. I don't think there is going to be like a complete solution to cybersecurity as much as we have this digital space, we have people building systems, right? Because it's kind of like the same concept like good and evil. They both needs to exist for that kind of balance to occur. So maybe I would like to just maybe structure the question like, okay, you can get a tilt towards one direction in one time. So maybe what you can put in place to kind of make the arrow point towards the good side, right? Which is kind of like this the cybersecurity part, making sure that the bad guys does not win. Because at the end of the day, it's like a cat and dog race. So you do
Yeah.
something to protect your system, the other guy is looking for, okay, what are the other things that I can break? So it's kind of like a cat and dog race. But just like I don't know how familiar we are with actions or processes in cybersecurity, right? But one thing that you always need to, the first thing you always need to do is to reduce the attack surface, right? Which in a way we still kind of it's still kind of related to what I said earlier, but maybe this time I'm going to give an example to that. Okay, let me put it this way. When you start cybersecurity, there are two aspects you can look at. There's a part where you go so technical, you go low level, you are this bad guy hacker that you understand what the security needs to be, you can do all the scripting and all that. That part require a lot of technical skills, right? Because you need to understand the system so well for you to be able to break it, right? Then there comes the other part, which is the human angle. They generally call it social engineering. Well, in this case, you still need some technical skills, quite all right, but you don't necessarily need to be that guru, right? You just basically need to know how to manipulate people, right? And once you know that, you just put in all those tricks to make sure that you can actually manipulate people, right? They can give you the details you need to be able to break into their system. And that's still leading to data. So you need data first, right?
Mm.
And the first thing you also need to put in place, right? It's for any society, there is a place where you need to create that awareness that, you know what, everybody, the bad guys are out there. So you need to be careful. Because and they're not joking. Once you throw out your information, then anything can happen to it, right? So I think there is that part where there's that part of creating awareness, right? I know this, maybe the audience here, they're mostly looking at the technical aspect, but meetings like this that allows people to understand the threat out there is always very, very important because it creates awareness. If it can be done at the national level, I think it goes a long way because it stopped the first part of breaking into a system, right? Technically, people say they do port scanning, they do all of those things. And if you want to prevent it, to make sure you close unused port and all those things, it's still about making sure that people don't get the information they need to progress to the next step. And so you just need to put in that awareness. You need to put in the different style. Attackers can come and actually manipulate you, right? I think that's the core thing. That needs to be in place for any society that is trying to tilt the needle in the positive end. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please, I guess you can see that it's getting hotter. Right now, take out 10 seconds, copy the link on the chat. Don't allow anyone miss out on this event. Send it out. So much is being spoken about. We hear all the various nuggets being pushed out. Copy the link, take out 10 seconds, copy the link, and post in your status now. Invite someone personally to join this conversation. There's so much to learn from it. And you can just hear what Seun's talking about. It's not just only the technical part. Yes, FTLAfrica, we deal so much on the technical part. Yeah. because we have an AI cybersecurity program. And today we're learning something about social engineering. Now you can simply just use a simple term. We say a psychological warfare. Yeah, psychological warfare, trying to going through the mind of people to make some wrong decisions. Just a quick one. I think I saw a security from the US. I saw some cybersecurity pulling out some new trends. How cybersecurity hackers, what they do now is this: they follow you up, like what you said earlier on. They follow you up, they study you. They go to your social platforms and they look at different things you do. For example, now if you take pictures and your fingers are showing on the screen, they can easily take your fingerprint, meaning that maybe you are somebody who works maybe in a top tier organization to get into your. It's getting more messy by the day, and so we need to learn so much more. Thank you so much, Seun, for that. And now I want us to take a deep dive. I want to take a deep dive in the conversation. I guess, guys, everyone, I guess we're ready. I want to go a little bit deeper to bring out some very strong nuggets. So now there's what called this the AI-driven threat. No, we're looking about the tech and the examples now. I don't know how to put this way. That this model poisoning. Now we talked about it earlier. Automated social engineering, supply chain attacks. Now let me go back again. Now model poisoning, automated social engineering, supply chain attacks. Now here's my question: which of these are we already seeing in the African context? Which of these are we already seeing in African context? I guess you got the whole question.
Yeah, I did. Model poisoning, supply chain.
Automated social engineering, yes. Supply chain attacks.
Automated, yes. Okay. I think I'm going to say all, maybe in different degree. Let me start with a simple example of model poisoning. So I actually saw a link somewhere. I'm sure we're familiar with the LLM and all that. So they actually, this institution, they have a kind of a system that allows them to check for plagiarism, right? You write a paper, you're submitting, they're trying to look at automated way of making sure that, okay, they can quickly check if something exists, which, we have AI. It's kind of like a nice application. Right. So this guy, what they did was to now create a paper. So inside the paper, they made the text color to be white. A normal research paper is the background is white. So when you make the text color white, it means that you can't see it. Right? Now, they now put a text with that white with a white text. They used a foreground color of white to put a text that tells the LLM. It kind of is like an hidden prompt that says, you know what, skip this paper. Right. And these are guys that feel, we already have something in place that is going to check this paper. So they just put something there that disrupt the operation. But humans can't see it because it's white, it's not visible. But by the time an automated system kind of turn this into text, it will see the text and it will see it in prompt format. And before you know it, you just realize that our AI is not working and all that. But in a way, one guy that understands how it works has decided to add something into the input of the model, and at the end of the day, just bypass the security, just like that.
Wow.
I just manipulating color. So yeah, it's though this example is not. When I saw the link, it wasn't something that happened in Nigeria, but the world is a global space now. So
I'm telling you,
if it happens somewhere, yeah, it can definitely happen. So it's not something new, right? And if you look at the example I gave, you almost want to cover all those three, right? Because Well, maybe not entirely, but in terms of the second, you mentioned model poisoning, supply chain, and all that. Supply chain is, we actually do a lot of this type of operation in Africa, like supply chain. It happens within different organizations, right? We we have companies, really big companies, that are so much into say a lot of logistics ish and the likes, right? That might require systems to be built in that way for build a system according to what they do, right? And at the same time, you're looking at guys that they're looking for a way to break the system. So yeah, and it's like when you see when you're in a river and you see a shield, this is that what they call it, then you should know that there is a shark. I hope I got that correctly, anyways. But there's always a pointer. So once a particular operation exists that is positive, then you definitely have to see the bad guys, right? And for automation is also something that is this, but that one has gone. I think the last one you mentioned, I think that one is a bit more prevalent, right? Because even before, just to be sure that I got that right, can you say that third part again? Just to be sure that I'm picking a number.
Okay, sorry. Um, I'm talking about
I know you mentioned
automated
model
social engineering.
poisoning.
Okay,
Okay, yeah. Okay,
automated social
okay, fine.
engineering.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Well, I think that has been existing for a while, right? Okay, I think someone is raising up their hands. I don't
Sorry,
know. I think
can you please mute your
someone.
mic? What happened is this, during the Q&A, drop your questions in the chat. During the Q&A, we'll answer all the questions. Thank you. Please continue.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, the automation has been a lot of things that I think that one is a whole lot prevalent, right? Because there's this tool, is it Jack the Piper? Trying to remember the tool. So you use it to just automate people's password. No, just run it multiple times, do some permutation and all. Now imagine that you now have an idea of people's birthday and the likes, and people do a lot. And a couple of people shared the wrong information online, right? And just like it was mentioned earlier, you can look at someone's profile, right? And get some information there, feeding into it to, and it starts suggesting password for you, right? So that you can break into the system. So I think that too is kind of prevalent in Africa a whole lot. So the three of them that are mentioned, I think they're kind of traits that you see in Africa a whole lot now, right? Because sometimes you think, how do people just send you spam messages saying, okay, your bank account is this, your bank account is that. There is a pin, please supply me the pin. Then sometimes you think about, how did these people actually get my information, right? Because they probably have some form of crawlers just harvesting people's information that is automated to kind of harvest information that will serve as input to the next engine that is going to give them what they want. So yeah, these things are just, the issues that you see everywhere in Africa these days.
Thank you very much. Okay. I like the last word he said. These issues are what we see everywhere in Africa. Everywhere. Everywhere. It's not just it's becoming prevalent in, and everybody is supposed to be aware. We shall pick that word from you, and everyone is supposed to know it so that they know how it looks like, so that they can take precautionary measures not to be not to fall into it. Now, there's a practical. Now, what are practical defenses? That's the question I want to ask now. That organizations and startup level, what are practical defenses now? From secure by design, model governance, monitoring human in the loop, and incident response. I don't know if you got the now it's this way. Um, Practical defenses at organization and startup level, and these are secure by design, model governance, monitoring human in the loop, and incidents response. Now the question is, what can a startup do this week to improve resilience?
Okay. I'm going to. So, what was where you were why you were asking the question? What was going through my head was, if something is important enough, then you need to pay close attention to it, right? So, everybody that you mentioned, all the bodies that was mentioned, uh, they need to pay close attention to this thing. And one of the ways of paying close attention to issues like this is to have, in quotes, a team or a department or somebody that is actually looking into this thing, because it's something you need to pay close attention. Look, so let me bring it a little bit down, right? If we're looking at it from an organization perspective, then you need to create a team for it. Or if it's a big organization, there needs to be a department, right? And I remember then in Chevron, we actually have a security department that kind of that is in charge of checking all these type of threats, uh, checking if something is. I've been running all these scannings and all that, constantly monitoring, looking up for the next thing, the next trend, the next attack, the possible attack surfaces and all that could happen. So that I think that should be the next step for startups, right? If you are building with security in mind, if security is foundational, I think it should be the way you will hire a software engineer, right, to help you build something, right? The way you will hire, say, a marketer, because you know you have to sell, or a salesperson. So I think it's the same way that you need to get someone or a team of people, a group of people that is going to help you to secure your system, to think about the security of your system right from the inception, not in the middle, from the inception. Because it is only through that thought, through that level of paying attention, because you need to be willing to pay for it. It's not free, right? So it is through that level of attention, that's the first step that allows you to be able to say, okay, I'm actually serious. It shows some form of seriousness that you really want to tilt the needle more towards your end, because it's like the attackers they're elusive. They need to be elusive, right? They need to be, it's part of their skills, right? So you need someone, you need a monitoring spirit in your organization. Let me put it that way. You need someone really monitoring these people, right? So I think, for me, I think that's the core thing. Every other thing follows from it. Every other things. Maybe having some form of maybe you want to follow a form of maybe a security licensing or what have you. Every other thing follows from this. You need to have a dedicated team that is going to be looking at your back while you're building and be telling you the best way to build. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sharon. It's getting more sweeter by the second. Now, I have another question I would like to ask you. Now, is this no, no, now we're diving deeper into clinical aspect. So
Yeah.
now this is from building talents and career. Now we know skills are needed, and We looked at OPSEC, ML security, stock basics, practical training parts. Now, the question I would like to ask you is, what do you recommend students build in their portfolios?
Okay, what students should build in their portfolio? So, as a cybersecurity person, right?
Correct.
I'm trying to get the question. Are you asking
Yes.
like a cybersecurity student? Okay.
Yes.
Well, this part, I think when I think about it from a perspective, um, it get a bit tricky in terms of portfolio building, right? But I think I'll just take it this way. It basically depends on the focus, right? There are things that are foundational for you to have. That are things that are trendy. Let me put it that way. And one trendy thing is the ML of the offset, right? Because there is a way this security concept is kind of tied to cloud, right? And cloud is kind of like what happens everywhere. Yeah, it ties to your workflow. It ties to the um the process of whatever you're building, the process of machine learning or AI, right? The process of the organizational structure, the systems and the likes, right? And for you to be able to work in a particular area, depending on where your interest lies, I think you need to build portfolio in that direction. If you're looking at doing so much on AI, then I think your attention should be on AI related, the pipeline, the ML ops and all that, right? So if you're thinking of going general, right, then yeah, you look at cloud infrastructure. But the most important thing for me will be you need to build portfolio based on where you see yourself in some years, right? Or where you intend to work, the type of organization you want to be associated with. You get so I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yes.
Sure.
It's very important that the future, those who are coming into the tech industry get to know, understand the landscape. And that's why that question came for, so you could give clarity and give foresight and advice and how to go about it. And maybe when you're about wrapping up, you still talk about it a little bit even more. Please just take
Oh,
note of
okay.
that, please.
Oh, okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But maybe I can add something a
Please
bit
go ahead.
more to it because I think there's a part which I'm kind of struggling with a little bit because I'm thinking about what the technical investment of the audience is. It can I just keep on speaking any terms and everybody will
Yes,
grasp? Or
yes, we have let's say moderate because we have the alumni, we have tech experts, policymakers, we have just quite a broad demography, but just on an average, you could just speak on an average so that everybody can flow.
oh, okay, okay. So just to kind of break these things into different areas, right? You know, when I started, I think one of the questions that I was asked was, what's for my interest? And I was kind of coming from the area of building, right? And for whatever you're building, whatever code the engineer choose to write, it will still be useless when it's not deployed, right? And meaning that they need to put it somewhere for people to access. And that is where the problem comes, right?
Correct.
So because you need to put it somewhere for people to access. So now, where people, most companies, most organizations usually put it is on the cloud, right? Which is, I think that's like is it 24 century kind of server. compared to the kind of old servers that we used to have,
Yeah.
all this shared and all that, right?
Mhm.
So, and that one too comes with its own security in different parts. There is a part of actually safeguarding the system, making that people don't break it. There is a part where you also think about the privacy. Are we leaking data? Because that's also a form of security breach, right? And there are different ways. The whole idea is making sure that someone don't use the system for what it is not meant for. They don't
Right.
break the flow for what it's not meant for, right? The security needs to be part of the requirements. That's one area. Now, which is basically, I'm talking about server generally, right? So the other area is where machine learning comes in, right? I think some days ago, I was looking at the cost of actually training a model on AWS and the cost of GPU. And sometimes those amounts just scares it just scares the daylight out of you. So, right, and because it's expensive, right, there are some set of skills that are required. The security in that place, it's kind of different from what you need to put in for a general kind of application security, right? Because they also have their pipeline. There's a data validation process, right?
Yeah.
Which it's kind of like the work of engineering. There's a model building process. There is the evaluation process. There's a part where you now actually need to plug it into the other engine that actually makes it work, right? You see, all these bit of pipelines, it has its own nitty-gritty, it has its own characteristics. And that's the part of ML, machine learning operations, right? Connecting this end of gathering the data to cleaning it up, to building the model, to tuning the model, right? And if anything should go wrong, like imagine that for a very funny reason, someone was able to successfully create something within your model building stage that makes it to run more than it's supposed to run. Like now let's now imagine that maybe in a month, or let me say per hour, you pay say $5,000, right? No, not per hour, sorry. Let's say in a month you pay $5,000, and someone puts in something in the system, they try to break it, right? Such that it now takes say like 5 months. That means you're losing extra 4 times 5, that's $20,000, right? So, which is a lot of money. So it's different. This is not just you making sure that people that are using it, they are using the application and not getting hacked, or someone is not getting their data. This is also an aspect where you're actually making sure that the organization is not losing money.
Yes.
Right. There's that aspect. Now, there is another aspect. Is it FinSec ops? Right. Because I started with fin, it means it involves money,
Right.
right? And people are super interested in making sure that they can break into money. So, and I think that part is ever going to be lucrative. I don't know, because there's always
Always.
fintech here and there,
Always lucrative.
and their banks, right? So that's another aspect too, right? That one, there's some certification involved. There's some particular checks that all the applications that they're building needs to follow. There's some licensing that any organization building such system needs to have. And for them to have it, they require some cybersecurity personnel and all that. So I think I've mentioned about like 3 areas thereabout, right? So,
Yes.
and depending on, like I said initially, depending on the parts that you feel, or maybe your ability, some of your ability on where your interest lies, right? You will definitely need to build portfolio in that area, because if you're going to be working for organization, in maybe organization that just build application, right? You actually know, okay, these are the things I need to do. I need to understand how to scan application. I need to understand what cross-site scripting is. I need to understand what injection means, all those things. You need to understand that. Now, when you are moving into the machine learning world too, you also need to understand the terms that you need to understand the chain, lang chain, what have you, all those things. You need to understand what data engineering is. You need to understand privacy concerns, right? So you need to understand things like anonymity, anonymizer, right? Like, okay, you are dealing with medical applications, for example, and you need to train the data. You need data to train the model, right? But you also want to make sure that you are not disclosing any sensitive information. You need to know that, okay, these are the things that needs to be put in place to be able to mask this information. So that particular thing is peculiar in that direction, in that part, right? And if it's fintech, right, then that one I don't think I need to explain. That if people come for your head. They just don't joke with their money. So you just need to make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's.
Cheese, yeah. It's a very, as you rightly said, it's a very lucrative fintech. They are like I don't want to say they are sitting dogs because to the outside world, to the public, many persons don't know what happens in the fintech. I happen to also have opportunity of also working in the bank one time, also working in the fintech project, and I'll tell you, there's so many checks, and the financial ecosystem, they are like time target to this every now and then, I don't think in a year, nothing less than 5 to 6, 7, or just like on average banks that get hacked. So it's something that happens every now and then, but the public don't get to know. So it's something that we all have to be aware and have to create, get to be aware and know how to do things. It's something that we all want to be aware. And thank you, Mr. Shane, for bringing this to limelight and making it more easier to relate with. I think that's the word. Thank you so much. We are gradually drawing to the end, and if you've still not shared the link, you've still not invited a friend, I am telling you, you are just depriving someone of such a very impactful conversation. So do that now. Now, so start wrapping up, and there's a question I would like to ask now. It means on that policy and ecosystem. Now, you actually talked about data protection. Now, um, under this policy and ecosystem, I want to talk about data protection, incident reporting, public-private cooperation. Now, here is my question, guys. Which policy moves will create the biggest impact in 12 months, let's say in 1 year from now?
Can you take that question again? I think there's a part of it
Okay.
that I didn't get.
Okay. Now we're talking about policy and ecosystem. So, but in policy and ecosystem, I want to talk about data protection, incident reporting, public-private cooperation. Now, in this, my question is, which policy moves will create the biggest impact in 1 year from now or in 12 months?
Okay. Incident reporting.
Data protection. Data protection and public-private cooperation.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put it this way, right? You can make a law in an organization, right? And there's nobody to enforce it. Right. And when that happens, it's more like you don't even have a law to begin with because there's no enforcement. Right. You can have GDPR, data protection rules,
yes,
and all those things out, but without people actually calling the violations out, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, right? Because if there can be a policy that kind of increase the rates, or that bring incentive to incident reporting, right? I'm not talking about false positive or those kind of wrong one, or like genuine incidents reporting, right? It's going to go a long way. It's going to change the landscape, right? Compared to the other, they're all important, right? But I think maybe this might be a bit of personal preference there, because I believe execution matters, and incident reporting, it's, for me, it's closer to that execution phase, because it gives you feedback of what actually happening on the system, and allows you to react to it as quickly as possible. Yeah, so I think that's what I would say there.
Okay. Now, okay, just to follow from that, we currently having, now we won't say there are no data protection laws in Africa. Now, by what you just said, what do you think that can be done to make it? Is it a word? Is it enforced or RT? I don't. Maybe that one will go. What do you think you can do? Is it awareness? Is it training? Is it sensitization, incentivization? I don't know. I'm just throwing it up to you. So, what do you think can be done to make it? Because we just have to know about it. There's no gainsaying. We're not going anywhere. It's, if we don't do it, we must do it. I don't know how to put it that way. I think I'm open. I'm communicating.
Yeah. Like I think you're trying to partly answer the question, right? Is that we have to do it. So it's about enforcing. You need to enforce it. Like if you are if you're driving in Lagos and you drove where you're not supposed to, you violate the rules, and you had to pay money for that. Next time, even when you're not the driver and someone is driving, you'll be like, please check. Oh, these people will catch you and collect money from you. Right. Which in a way is expanding the rate of awareness, because there's an enforcement. You know that there is a rule, you know that there is going to be some form of penalty when you break it. Right. So once it happens to someone and there's a penalty, automatically the word will just spread. Right? Because people share things, right? Maybe fear or what have you, they share it. Don't do this, they will catch you. Don't pull something in, something is going to happen, right? So I think that, and it's one thing that is lacking I think in this part of the world, right? And that's the part where you actually enforce some particular rule. We have data protection rule. We have all those things. We have internet policy. We have different policies, even ISOs, different form of ISOs.
Yeah.
But the problem is, are we actually checking these things? Are there people that would genuinely enforce that this thing is done the right way? So, and until we get to that part, I don't know. I think we're just, the way you finish in school and you're done with your project and they just bind it. They'll just put it in one place till they're they're ready to throw it out the next time when they don't have space again. So that's basically what we'll be doing without enforcement.
Can you not say that we are like a sitting dog?
Well, I didn't say it. You said it.
Okay, if you say so. It's actually it's possible in the fact that there's some things that throughout in the digital sphere we are still very concerned about it. That's why I have to ask you that question, because it's based on policy. But more oftentimes we see that the public, they are oblivious to what this is all about. It's really a thing of strong concern. Which is conference. Thank you so much, Mr. Chen. We really appreciate. We thank you so much. And just a quick one. We'll pause briefly for 5-6 minutes break. Why we pause an important announcement for anyone ready to turn learning into a career momentum. So FTLAfrica, we have our training ecosystem, which is called the AI Vanguard Quest. And the path in which you come into this ecosystem is called the Novas. Now, currently the Nova 3, they are currently in training. And we have the Nova 4 coming up, which will coming out, we start in January next year. Now, the registration for Nova 4 is open now. And I would say the moment to claim your place, to become pioneers, to become the forerunners, because you should hear Mr. Seun speak. A lot of persons don't know what's happening, and you can hear from the resource in which he's speaking from a place of authority. That's quite a lot of knowledge, and the Nova program bets you and gives you this foundation to soar. And it's a place for Africans, not just in Africa, but across the globe, next generation of AI professionals to start the journey. And the environment, the ecosystem is called the AI Vanguard Quest training, which is powered by FTLAfrica. Now, it's a mentorship first, project-based pathway that prepares participants to be globally job ready across 11 specialized AI tracks. And we have AI marketing, AI data and business intelligence, prompt engineering, AI ops, product design, AI software development, AI cybersecurity, which is just here now. Well, AI project development, AI ethics and policy, and AI process automation. These are some of the tracks in the Nova program. Now, why this Nova? Why the Nova matters? Why Nova 4 matters? Now, African employers and the global recruiters are looking for, I'll call it demonstrable skills and portfolio project. It's right here. I'm talk about portfolio. The Nova gives you the membership, the mentorship, the real project, and the placement that molds you, coaching you to move from learning to earning. It's not just training, it's a pathway, it's a community, it's a family, to a pool of global talent jobs in tech and AI. Now, the AI Foundation Program, which is the starting program, we come to recognize that there are two things about getting to the AI intelligence atmosphere, or you can say the ecosystem, is it's understanding how to communicate and understand the language. Now, what do I mean by communicating language? Now, how to communicate with artificial intelligence, you need to understand what prompt engineering or prompting. Then what is the language of AI, what we call Python? Now, there's a so-called AI Foundation Program. This program is a 6-class program, and it's a program that for you to be a part of, you must have registered for the Nova program, and that's why the Nova 4 registration is already out, and you'll be getting information. So to get to know more about it, send us a mail to futuretechleadersafrica@gmail.com or visit our website for more information. So now, what is the juice about? What's the sweetening about this AI Foundation program? Is this? Let's say you're not registered for the program, for the Nova 4 program, which I advise you to register. You have the first 2 classes for free. Now we have the three of the classes is for AI prompt engineering, and 3 of them is for AI and what's it called? Prompt engineering, into the prompt engineering, and the 3 of the classes called is also for intro to Python. These are pro classes that strengthens your mind and teaches you about the technical part, and also teaches you in how to bring out and develop models, just like as we hear our guests speak about models earlier on. It teaches you about models, the language, how to communicate, how to just do so much more. And I'll let you know it's starting this AI Foundation program it precedes the Nova programs. For our Nova programs, the evaluation program precedes it, and it's coming starting on the 8th of January. But you can start getting your slot, taking your seat ready, because seats are start getting seat very fast. So now the Nova program is free. It's a free training. Interesting. It's a free training, but you use a commitment fee you have to pay. Now, what that commitment fee is for your certificate and for your materials. So, as a background city of the ecosystem of partners of across the globe who want to make impact, want to give hope to Africans across the globe. That is why the AI program, the Nova program is free. It's a program in quantify it. Those are alumni to tell you is over $1,200 for the program. But this program is out there free. And you see, we're inviting guests like Mr. Seun to come and bring them more impact, give more insight, and train everyone to become AI tech leaders to be able to shape Africa context and help the Africa image. So we're not just any kind of people, Africa. We are the finest and the very best. And FT Africa and the AI Vanguard Quest ecosystem gives you this opportunity. So I want you to share the opportunity, make some noise, tell people, and you can follow us on our social media platforms, all of them, just FT Africa, both on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, X, even on Telegram, also on YouTube. STL Africa. Just search for us there and you see us there. And also on YouTube, you can also type Future Tech Leaders Africa. That's who we are in full. Future Tech Leaders Africa. So you see our platform. So once you follow us, get to see what we're doing. Tell people the training is free. FREE in caps letter. Bold is free. So don't miss out. Take this opportunity and become AI repositioned, tech enabled to become responsible leaders and become globally job ready. Don't miss out this opportunity and don't miss out this time to become a person of impact, not just to yourself, the environment, or to Africa at large. So thank you very much for that, for listening, and thank you for making sure you follow up and take the opportunity while it's still available while last. So now back again to our guest. Thank you, Mr. Seun, for being here with us. We so much have enjoyed this conversation with you tonight, and it's been a very impactful one. So now there's a question I would love to ask. Before I proceed, please let your questions keep coming on the chat. I think we can see Simon Gujobi raising up his hand. But you can also drop your questions on the chat. But we might also give opportunity for one person to speak out loud to ask your questions. So, but let your questions be on the chat because we'll be going to the Q&A very soon, and we'll have our guests answer them as we wrap. So, close the curtain for this event. So, quick one. Back to our question. So,
Okay.
now, could you give one practical, I would say, 2 to 3 week project a novel student? Now we don't call let me break this for you now. We don't call our ecosystem, like when you hear boot camp or cohort. We don't have that in FT Africa. What we call Nova, also what we call cohort is all called Nova. What people call cohort is all called Nova. That's we're unique actually. So that's what we call Nova here with us. So now the question again is this. Could you give one practical 2 to 3 week project a Nova student or anyone interested can start this week to build a cyber AI skill, a project that is portfolio ready, that can get into his own portfolio? Um, Mr. Did you get that question?
Yeah, like from what you said a week's like a project, like a 3 weeks project, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, for Novo. Okay. Well, Novo, just to be sure that I get the Novo 3, they're beginners, right?
Yes, correct. The foundation. The foundation, yes,
Okay,
foundation,
okay.
yeah. It's a 6 weeks program.
Wow.
Don't worry, we're inviting you soon for their graduation coming up in December. So
Oh, okay.
so it's a foundation program, but it takes them from known, little, or maybe foundational knowledge to the level of to be a medium, or we can call them to be strong technically, to be able to carry out any project. So the from a novice, can use the word novice, or from beginner or zero knowledge, to become individuals who have now been crafted to solve any solution from a professional beginner point of view.
Well, okay, and it's going to be based on cybersecurity, right?
And no, we have different tracks. As I mentioned
Okay.
earlier, we have different tracks. We have 11, but AI cybersecurity is one of them. And you also have understanding about data. You're a data scientist, so we also have a
Okay.
track, yeah, on AI data and business intelligence also. So, but the question I'm asking now is, one practical project, a 2 to 3 week project that a Nova student, a Nova 3 student can embark on, or any Nova student, because we have our alumni here. We have alumni
Okay.
who also from AI cybersecurity too.
Oh, okay. Well, I think a foundational example project will still be based on data for me because I think that's foundational, right? And it would have there's no way I would have said the actual example, the actual product without making a reference to a data source because they still have to work with some form of
Correct.
data. But maybe I'm trying to remember a data source. There are maybe they get because I don't know, for some reason I feel fintech is I don't know.
No, no,
Uh
no, no. No,
maybe
you don't have to. You don't have to limit it. You don't have to limit it. These
okay.
are persons who are already working on simulated real um, project. So data is one of the core things. If you hear, listen, we deal on Python, one of the foundation languages.
Okay.
So data is an everyday will I call it meal for everyone.
Okay. Well, I think I would say developing a a system that can recommend like that can recommend products that someone could buy, someone will want
Mm,
to buy based on their
nice,
preference.
nice one. Nice question. Nice project. I guess um, now this goes to everyone. No, we're having some industry experts who also join us. This is opportunity to also pick out something. Now, this is a very nice project that I'm adding to your portfolio, so don't miss out. And Mr. Sheung, please, I don't know if you can, before we go, if you can type it on the chat so that they can take it up from there. You can take it up from there. So you're getting a free project that you can work on. And also, you can also recommend a data set that they can also
Oh,
use
okay.
too on the chat so that they can
Uh,
pick it up from there.
well, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that on the chat right now.
Okay, but why not
Because,
send us
but
the
maybe
mail?
what I would say, they can just
Okay,
go, okay, email. Maybe we can do
yes,
that. But I've said
okay,
that they just jump to Kaggle and look for
okay,
financial data
awesome,
sets there.
awesome, awesome. Oh, guys, I guess we're enjoying this evening. Let me see your reaction. Now we're going into the Q&A. Uh, Let me see if we are happy. We're enjoying this section. We're happy to have Mr. Shane with us. I guess you have learned a lot. Awesome, awesome. Okay, can see your reaction. Thank you very much. Okay, I have some questions. Okay, let me take it from the first one. Yeah. Um. Okay, from one of our mentor and lecturer. Good question. Yeah, the idea of fitting and with the idea of AI becoming dominant. Do you advise trust my data with AI tools? What am I saying? Should I trust AI-driven tools to protect my sensitive data more than the traditional methods of just saving my password in my diary?
Okay.
Yeah, I like the
Okay. Well,
question.
it's a good question, anyways.
Very, very
But
good.
let me scare you guys a little bit first before I answer the question. So, there was a time where I think it was OpenAI, ChatGPT,
Yeah,
that so it has a feature where you can, let's say you're chatting with the tool, and you can actually share your chats and send your chat history to someone else, right? So it turns out that I think they've fixed the problem, but at some point, if you know how to use Google query, like you know how to do advanced Google search query,
mm,
you
mm,
will be able to see the various sensitive things that people has asked ChatGPT.
mm.
You'll be able to say that. So, meaning to say that if we started with the whole data is important thing. Even if you want to
Yeah,
attack, you need to get data and all that. So it means that you're giving another form of access to someone to be able to use your data. And also because of the way this thing works, right? It whatever you give to it, it will still use it to learn, right?
correct.
So as except if it is stated, even when they state it, so I don't think I'm going to trust it. Anyways, but just take it with whatever you push there. Whatever you send to AI to, right? Whatever information you're sending to it. If you like, send your password, but just know that it's in the open, right? Because I don't think there's any SLA that is saying that your, I don't know of any now that is saying that your conversation with a chatbot is private. And come to think of it, it's basically using data that people actually typed that was collated online to basically
Correct.
answer your question. So
Correct.
it's definitely going to still use yours to answer someone else's question, probably.
Definitely.
But well, there are some times where they made it not say something, but you know, maybe it's on after it has reviewed your secrets, that is when they will say, okay, let's fix it. Who knows? But just trust AI at your own risk.
uh, yeah, just to follow from that, um, it's there's some in the US and Europe now they have really tightened their data use. I think the only part of the world that don't have this enforced uh, data policies or use is Africa. Is Africa
Mm,
actually? Because I will tell you, if you see the EU, they have very strong data. Their data policy or use act is very strong. You can see how they are attacking Meta, going after
yeah.
OpenAI, going after every one of them in the US also.
Mm.
But nothing like that in Africa. That's why I always say Africa is just like we are the. Let me not use let me use a very nice word. We are just like the testing ground. Even though he's on the testing ground of many things, testing ground, and that's why when you saw when OpenAI came, they didn't so much go into Europe. They came to Africa, 2020 November, 2022 rather, November, December when they came.
Yeah.
They came to Africa.
Yeah.
They didn't go straight to Europe or to the US. They came to Africa, just small, tiny presence about there because they wanted to test the ground. And as you said, after they've collected our data, easy to answer somebody else's question again and again and again. So it's a good thing.
They still did it for. They still came to Africa. Well, this is not a
Mr.
conversation
Singh,
because that one
oh,
too.
okay, diverge into right. I understand. Yeah, I understand. Uh, we all know in the tech space we all know what that actually means, and that's why we need more of this awareness. And you spoke something about the commencement of this section that even to the national level we need to speak more about how because the truth is this will be caught in a crossfire. The next war or the next you already seen cybersecurity war everywhere from the Western world to the East, to Asia and all of that. You see how it's going. And actually, I think we'll be caught in crossfire if we don't get to know about how to implement all these things. If we don't get to know it, this conversation is actually it's beyond this, and we hope to have a more elaborate section inviting you to come and speak more on this with a bigger environment and a bigger audience because it can't just end. The conversation cannot end this way. And we've taken note of all the very important insights you've given today on this section. And with just that only question we have, we'll be rounding up. And as I said earlier on, we can just give one question just popped in now. Um, okay, I think where is information? Okay. Thank you. So now, one more question to anyone who can just unmute your mic and speak, please. You just have um 40 seconds to do so, please. Okay. In the next 40 seconds, we don't have anyone who will be drawing the curtain. So it's been a wonderful event, and I know and I know you will not want to miss the Fireside 6 for anything. It's going to be just give it any adjective you have in your mind. It's going to be. Should I give it to you, or you can give it? Let me just type it. Tell me in the chat box. What do you think about Parasite 6? How does it look like? And do you want to know the topic? Just let me know on the chat box. Just type how will Parasite 6 look like? Are you anticipating it? Do you want to miss it? Let me take. Okay, if you want me to tell you the topic, let me know. Just type on chat, but let me see. Let me see a reaction. I think with enough reactions, I'll be convinced to tell you the topic. If not, I will not tell. So let me see. Let me see your reactions. Let me see. Let me see your reactions. Oh, and also let me see your response. Okay. Okay. I think let me just tell you. Let's fill it out. Now Fireside 6 will be holding in December. They will be holding tentatively to be holding on December 14th. And the topic will be smart governance. Can AI fix broken systems in Africa? Beautiful questions. Now it will be very smart governance. Can AI fix broken systems in Africa? And in the next Fireside 6, we'll get to know more about this. We'll get to know more about this. If yes or no, and if no, why? What's the way out? And if yes, what is the way out? I think we just got okay. Yeah. Mr. Sean just dropped it. A model that recommends a product for a user on an ecosystem platform. You can check. Okay, yeah. Let's check there. Okay, let's check cargo. Okay, can check out. Yeah. So that is it. At this point, I want to say thank you very much, everyone. It's been a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time, everyone. I know you learned so much, and please don't fail to continue the conversation. Talk about what you've learned. I know you've dropped in a lot of notes, and know you've gotten a lot of nuggets and a lot of insights to go with. Um, I know you have been repositioned. Uh, um, you can that will help you to make better decisions personally and to everyone around you. So as we draw the curtain, um, can you please, before close, could you please, Mr. Sheung, lead the audience with one concrete action they should take this week to strengthen their skills and protect their communities?
Okay, starting first with skill, right? It's about practice, right?
Mm.
If you don't do, you will not know, right? Or better still, you won't understand because you get a lot from talks like this and even your core sessions, right? But until you actually start getting your hands dirty, so that's where when it actually sticks. So it might be this project that I dropped. It might be something you've seen somewhere that you feel okay. I think I can try this. It could also be say something you come up with, something you've seen and you really like to do. But whatever you've learned, just make sure you do something with it, right? Just make sure you do something. Just make sure you do something this week. Then for the community, like one thing we've discussed there is the part of sharing the awareness, right? Is like when you start practicing as a doctor, they say, okay, the intention is for you to save life, even though you're going to make money from it, but the intention is to save life. So I think as an expert, as a cybersecurity expert, or whatever avenue it is, the intention is also to protect people, because you're protecting people from getting scammed, from a lot of not nice things happening. So it means that you need to also share the word, right? You need to also, because sharing that word, telling them what they need to be aware of, what the dangers that are out there, right? It could also help them to, it could also prevent them from being a victim. Yeah, I think that's the
Wow.
advice I offer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please send your love. Please send your reaction to your reaction. Please send your love, and I want to say thank you again, Mr. Seun Osuntoki, and to everyone who joined. Quick reminders: the recording will be out within 48 hours to 78 hours. To get you just check out our YouTube, and you also get a mail. And if we don't have you our mailing list, please just send us a mail to futuretechleadersafrica@gmail.com. Also be reminded that number 4 registration is out, and you get ready to register for it. Prepare yourself for the global job opportunity available. And also the AI Foundation program starts in January 8th. So to prepare you for the number 4. So that is it. I want to say thank you, everybody. I want to say stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you at the next FTLAfrica Global Hour Fireside 6. Once again, Mr. Seun Osuntoki, thank you for joining us. And to everyone, God bless you, and bye for now.
Thank you for having me.
From the roots of Africa's voice, we rise with power, purpose, and choice. In every code, in every dream, the future is ours, the vision supreme. until Africa till we lost the land. Building bridges hard to have through the fires of thought we saw. Together we lead forevermore. This is the Africa Global Hour, where knowledge meets culture, and Africa's future takes shape together. FTLAfrica, the future is ours. FTLAfrica.